Hello, my friends. Welcome back. As I have told you in the earlier speech, that there remained only few humans with wisdom who could correctly interpret the nature signals. 40 years has been lapsed, and no one scientist, programmer, or cryptographer have raised himself to the level of the inventor of the Bitcoin. I have already proclaimed in the earlier speech that I would announce the values of the Bitcoin in terms of the copper, silver, and gold. In this historic speech, I would announce important information at the end after announcing the metal values of the Bitcoin. I'm neither creating any suspense, mystery, thriller, drama, nor creating any puzzle, but just interpreting the inventor's idea of the Bitcoin, as he himself have disclosed all the values in the Bitcoin white paper. But because of the lack of wisdom among humans, they have not even able to recognize the face value of one Bitcoin, then how would they be able to project the intrinsic value of one Bitcoin? It is beyond the scope of understanding of any citizen, but governments could act wisely after getting attention to this video message. There are clear mathematical, algorithmic, and computational evidences which shows that the value of one Bitcoin have been made to take control of the entire globe, as the inventor of the Bitcoin was against the current financial institutions. If the Bitcoin puzzle would have been very simple, then when anyone would have cracked it. Or if it would have been kept secret, then humans with wisdom would not have got access to the core protocol of the Bitcoin. That was the main reason that very few humans on the planet Earth still could not correctly interpret the Bitcoin white paper. Most programmers have evolved the Bitcoin chain for further accessibility to the Bitcoin program itself through virtual machines such as the Ethereum and the Algorand, which have made a way to fork the Bitcoin chain and to stop the drainage of the government treasuries through the Bitcoin code and the protocol. At this stage, one should be very clear about the concept of price and value and should not get confused, as the price is what you pay and the value is what you realize by paying the price. Weightage in terms of copper, silver, and gold gives easy understanding to the people at large. To understand the importance of the Bitcoin and gives an outline to the governments or man with wisdom to derive the intrinsic value of one Bitcoin and its complete protocol. But one could not say that this is what the intrinsic value of one Bitcoin is, which is beyond your scope of understanding. Now come to the point for which you were waiting for. Let's start with the value of one Bitcoin in terms of copper. One Bitcoin carries 20,000 kilogram in weight of pure copper. If you want to calculate its value in your currency, so let's take an example for the sake of convenience of the United States. If in the United States the price of 1 kilogram of copper is 7 United States dollar, then the price of one Bitcoin in terms of copper in the United States would come at around 140,000 US dollar. In other words, if you buy one Bitcoin, you buy ownership of 20 tons of world copper reserve. Or if you buy 0.00001 Bitcoin, you purchase 2 kilogram of global copper reserve in it. If you want to calculate the price of one Bitcoin in your country, you can multiply the price rate of copper per kilogram in your country with the 20,000 and you would get value of one Bitcoin in terms of copper in your country, and it would vary depending upon the demand and supply of the copper in the particular territory or country. In general, and for the mental convenience, one should take this copper as the global reserve. And same would be the calculations while calculating prices in terms of silver and gold. In terms of silver, one Bitcoin carries 2,500 kilograms of pure silver from the global silver reserve. For the conversion in your currency, you can multiply the price per kilogram of silver in your country, in your currency with 2,500, and you would get the value of one Bitcoin in terms of silver in your currency. Now, the most important, most concerned, and mostly speculated topic is the value of one Bitcoin in terms of gold, which comes around 1700 kilogram by weight in its content of 24 karat pure gold. Unbelievable but true. That's why I have said earlier that it's beyond the scope of understanding for a normal individual or a common citizen. As the prices of these metals would increase, the price and value of one Bitcoin would also increase in direct proportion. And if global fiat reserve currency would depreciate in its value, the value of one Bitcoin would increase in the reverse proportion. This is the first time in history that the values of one Bitcoin have been announced in terms of these precious metals, which has been derived through my own research, which has been already published in the book Anti Bitcoin Code. Before investing in the Bitcoin, I would like to request the audience that one should read the complete book which has been created by taking all the values of the present leading fiat currencies of the world and the interpretation of the Bitcoin white paper as of in the year 2023. Here, at this point, I would like to be very clear, specific, and wants to give a clear disclaimer that as a research analyst, I do not run any commercial service, practice, or investment advice. And this video has been broadcasted for the general information of the citizens, officials, governments of any country, language, or territory. One should completely understand the concept and ideology behind the creation of the Bitcoin protocol, which has been created to challenge the limits of the human wisdom. The time has come again to fight against the evil protocol and to completely mobilize its core protocol towards itself for its own destruction. As very few humans would understand what I am speaking, only few would be able to get the code behind a code. At a glance, it seems that a war of wisdom is going on throughout the globe, and only few humans have been chosen to save the planet from the Bitcoin attack. The time has come to get independent from the Bitcoin attack, and then only shall celebrate the Independence Day for the complete humanity through the wisdom. I hope I was very clear. Next time I would come and disclose the concept of smart central bank digital currency. As everyone is talking about the CBDCs, and few are very happy, excited, and curious with the progress of the CBDCs. But truly speaking, I am fed up of the word central bank digital currencies and argue and advocate for the smart CBDCs as it is the need of the time and necessity of each citizen. And if you can't resist your curiosity as a normal human being, then you can download the available anti-Bitcoin code which is available worldwide on Amazon. Till then, take care, goodbye, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.